What's up, guys? I got a little project for you. Looks like trash right now, so kind of look at the bigger picture, not so much of what it looks like right now, because it looks pretty bad right now. But I'm in the process of stripping it down. So I got it down. I haven't got it down this far yet, but I got it like this. But everything else was with it. So I have all the racks, the top end, the left side of the frame. Only thing I didn't get with it was a rear end because all I had was a 300. And I personally don't really care about having a 300 rear end right now because I don't plan on riding this for a little while, at least until I can get it built. The top end, he had the factory top end, but I just went ahead and he had one of these. Here's the top of the head, but I got a 390 piston and jug. So all the seal or rings. Got a new CDI box. Well, it's not really new, but it's a better one that's on it. But all this is gotta be cleaned out. I'm gonna go ahead while I'm in here, replace the valves and valve seals. I mean, they're not bad, but I feel like they've just been cleaned because that thing's got some pretty good gunk on it. So while I'm in there, might as well go ahead and do that. Clean everything else out. But mechanically, everything looks pretty decent, other than that it needed a top end because it was snorkeled. But I'm not sure what the clutch housing looks like because somebody has tampered with it. I mean, you can tell because I don't know if you can see it on camera right now, but if you look, yeah, you can see it. There's ultra red on the casing. So I don't know if there's a gear reduction in here or if somebody just burned the clutches out of it and replaced the clutches on it, or I don't know what's happened in here. But what I am gonna do is pull the front diff out. I'm gonna crack the front diff because I am gonna get a torque locker for it. And get the mechanical switch to take it in and out of four-wheel drive. Get that too. Do both those while I'm in there. Maybe replace the gears as it is, because the inside of that diff does look pretty rough. But I looked in the top end of this and in the actual motor, and it doesn't look bad. It actually is very clean for being a ragged snorkeled four-wheeler. So if I have to, I can take it and send it off, but I'm pretty confident the inside of this motor is all good. I do need to get a starter for it, but everything else, I haven't even cracked this, so I don't even know what this looks like. Got hella ultra blue in here, or some type of silicone of some sort. But it's probably been, it looks like it's been sank before, but what you expect with a 300. So the motor's gonna get completely gone through. I plan on buying a stretch for it, doing the dual shocks in the rear. All the shocks are gonna get replaced. They're gonna get way better shocks, new handlebars. I'm gonna strip everything completely down to the frame. I just gotta build me a table for it first because those tables are way too high. So I'm gonna build me a little table about knee high, I guess. Set it up on and tear the motor out of it, and that way I can work on putting a gear reduction in it if it don't have one already, and redoing the top end on it and the valves and stuff like that, because I do plan on tearing the whole motor out to get this thing powder coated and stuff like that. Don't know what color scheme I'm going to go with yet. The thumbnail is going to be a little bit of a teaser, but that's going to be the kind of size that I want this to sit at. That's not going to be the look exactly that I'm going for. It is a good looking four-wheeler and it's an interesting front end, but that's just kind of the size, the stretch, the lift that I'm going for. So it's going to be a little bit of a project. You're going to have to give me a while because I ain't rich and I don't have all the money in the world. So I am still doing that one and that one. I do need to give y'all an update on that one too. But it's just going to be kind of something for me to tinker with and get better at doing motor work, because I can do snorkels, radiators, wiring, you know, all that all day long. But motor work I ain't ever really been too much into. I have cracked the clutch housing on these things before, but I ain't ever really fooled with the top end. I mean, it's not that hard. I've done my research on it, so I'm fairly confident in doing it. I feel more comfortable doing it on something that's mine than somebody else's for the first time, so I feel like this is a good starter piece for me. I mean, no longer than 2 years I'd like to have this thing up and going, unless I just come into some money, or YouTube does actually start paying me something. For right now, I'm just doing this as a hobby and something to keep me busy on my weekends off and stuff, other than like when my old lady's at work and stuff. This gives me something to do in the basement instead of running around. So this is just kind of my little project. I want to do maybe a 6-inch lift, maybe a little bit longer or taller. I don't know what kind of shocks I'm gonna go with. I personally kind of want to do Elkas, just cause, but they're a little pricey, so you may have to wait. Be one of my later pieces, but I'm gonna get a custom front end. I got a grill that I'm kind of looking at that's a little interesting. We'll see how that goes. I'm gonna get one of the metal air boxes, a metal snorkel. It's probably gonna be on 33s, maybe 35s. Let's go with a 54% gear reduction. I've already got the big bore for it, or the board out, top end for it. What else? The halo or the torque locker in the front with the switch, the mechanical switch for 4-wheel drive. Axle paddle, and the whole 9 yards of your regular 300 build. This is definitely a piece of work. I may just strip it to the frame and try to find an old factory wiring harness and completely redo the wiring on this thing, because I don't exactly know what this switch was for, but they had something rigged up. I don't know if this was like their ignition switch to turn it on or what, but I guess that's something that I gotta figure out. But I got it for a pretty good deal. Most people wouldn't, I paid $550 for the whole thing, but that was also with the brand new 390 top end and piston and jug. So I got it for a deal. I only paid $300 for the actual frame, plastics, racks, front suspension. The only thing I didn't take with it was the rear end. I have everything to put this bike back together and have it rolling, and well, actually technically driving. I just don't feel like doing that, because the plan is to strip it down to get the frame repowder coated and do the whole 9 yards. I want this to be a very clean, nice bike. So got the seat for it, but I'm gonna get it reupholstered to kind of like do something like diamond stitching on it or something like that. Don't know the color scheme I'm going with, like I said a minute ago. I got plenty of time to figure that out, because I still got to order the lift, the stretch. Figure out, I guess I'm just going to go back to black with the frame and just do the suspension in all different color. Figure that out. I don't know what I'm going to do about plastics. I don't know if I'm going to paint the ones I've got, because they're red right now. But I kind of like the blue, or I may go with custom color somehow. Just order white plastics if I can find any. Or just send the ones I've got, sand them down and send them out and let somebody else paint them a custom color for me and do something different. But that's about all I'm gonna do with this right now. I'm gonna start tearing it apart probably next weekend or something like that, to kind of start getting an idea on how the motor is on it. So I mean, I can always just tear it apart and redo everything in it. It's not a big deal. This is definitely a project 4-wheeler for me, so we'll see how that kind of goes. No, I told you I was going to do some videos on this, but I never really did, because it was a pretty big learning curve on me, because I've always worked on Hondas solely. So the Polaris was a big learning curve for me. But when I got this, I don't know if I showed y'all, but the tires just sat in like that, because the complete suspension, all the bushings in the suspension were shot. So every bushing in the suspension, lower control arms, upper control arms, I mean, even the steering bushing is completely shot right now. But I have the bushing to fix it, so I just got to do it. I got to get the extra bit of time to put it in. I mean, I've replaced all the bushings in the suspension. I got to replace the steering bushing, but I have it. I replaced the starter on it. I replaced the battery on it. Replaced all the wheel studs. Got new wheels and tires for it. They're Honda Logs. Got the adapters for it. You got a speaker put on it. You got the headlights for it right here. I'm gonna do pods for these factory headlights. They just turn, so I'm gonna unbolt them back here And then I'm just gonna drill a hole through this plastic right here and then wire them into the factory headlight wiring harness. That way when you hit the switch for the lights to come on, and boom, the lights come on. And then I'm gonna put a 2-inch lift on the front because it has a work truck squat, and the tires kind of scrub just a little bit when you turn the wheel all the way. You can see how close it is right here. When it's turned all the way and you hit a bump, they will scrub. What else have I done to it? Battery starter, bushings. What else? I know I've done more than that, way more than that. Bushing, starter, battery, wheel studs. Oh, air filter. It didn't have an air filter on it. Carburetor. Put a new carburetor in it. New fuel lines. And it has a new axle on the rear right here. That's a new axle. What else? I think that's about it so far. And all I have left to do on it is replace the headlights and the steering bushing, and then put the plastics back on it. But it starts, I mean, it pretty much starts right up. Let me set this down. It's a little bit cold, we gotta use choke. And it starts up and idle, so. It runs, that's just a 500. Warms up, idle's good. I just gotta wire the winch back up for the winch to work. So far, this thing's killer. It's fun to ride. I mean, I'm a Honda guy, but the Polaris is fun to ride, for sure. I got a back seat for it. And I haven't really done anything on this. I mean, I'm not gonna say I hadn't done anything to it because I have, but I haven't really shown y'all anything or, had done another video on it about what I've done, what else I've done to it, but nothing really crazy. I put a light whip on it. I've already broke it at the top. It was a 4 foot, now it's a 3 foot. Still works, but I'll probably just buy another one and put this one on the Polaris. Got the mud strap. Probably one of the best $20 I've ever spent. Then I got the Quad Boss back seat. I got it set laid down right now from washing it, but Quad Boss back seat. Wired in a light bar. But as the moment, it does not work because the wiring harness fell down onto the exhaust and melted. So that's something else I'm gonna fix. And then what else? Let me show y'all the light bar, or the light whip anyway, for right a second. I have gone on a few small rides, but I haven't gone on anything big enough to really take the camera out and record and post. But that's it. I mean, it doesn't do anything crazy. I mean, you change colors, do others, and stuff like that. I mean, you got the demo. You can down the speed, up the speed, change colors. Pretty basic. I do have rock lights on it. Trying to think, that's about it. I got headlights coming in for it. They should be here sometime next week, I hope. Then I'm in the works of rerunning all the vent lines for it. I got all the vent lines to do it, but I'm gonna run them higher because right now you can see them all right here. They're all ran up into my headlight pod up to here, but I want them to be up here because when I went to Funny Farms, there was a couple times I'd gotten in the water like right here where it was mud, so it was just sitting down and water was up to right here and it was kind of sketchy. So I want it to be up here. I want it to come out of the side of this. That way I have, this versus this. I got another foot of leeway. I'm gonna do that. Headlights being next week, I'll make a video about that. Then, oh yeah, this is my dry box. So I did a really good job at sealing that thing up. I mean, you can see I had the gasket all sealed up. I mean, it was clean, perfect. And even like where I drilled it out, you can see the indentions and everything, but you can see there's mud right there. And it's right here, you can see this little line right here. It's where the harness, this little plastic right here, nice piece of rubber, where's it at? Here it is. This little plastic piece, how it splits right there. Water was getting in that and then getting inside of this. You can see the mud in it. So the mud was just coming into this and then coming out the inside of the harness right here, and then this was getting water in it. So I got another box right here. It's a little smaller, but what I'm gonna do this time different. I'm gonna take a rag and some cleaner and clean all these muddy, caked up wires off, and I'm gonna make my own harness, but out of ultra black. So it's gonna be completely sealed. I'm gonna separate all these wires, put ultra black on it, and then squeeze them together, and then ultra black around them again, and then kind of make it come up a little bit. And I'm gonna cut a really small slit in it this time. That way I don't have a big old gaping hole in the side of it like that. It's gonna be a little bit smaller than that, and these wires are gonna squeeze down in it real tight, like. And then the gasket, I'm gonna squeeze it down in there, that I make anyway, and then just seal that joker up. And I got a little bit of better of a box, and it's smaller, so it'll sit in here a little better like that. So I'm gonna work on that next weekend when I get back home from work. And then I went and bought 3 different torque wrenches from good old Harbor Freight. Can't beat those. Got a new sawzall for snorkels, so they ain't got a hand saw, angle grinder now. And then I'm about to go get a 3/8 Milwaukee impact for that beast over there. That's what I got the torque wrenches for also. So when I'm tightening down the motor bolts and stuff like that, I can tighten them down to the proper spec. So we'll see how this build goes. I'm gonna kind of try to crack on it next weekend and see what I can do out of it. I know this is kind of getting long, so I'm probably about to end this here. I figured I'd update y'all on this. Oh yeah. I'm getting kind of close to 500 miles, so when I hit 500 miles, I got 410 miles right now, as you can see, and 75, that's trip. Let's see, 120.7 hours. I've had it about 6 or 7 months, I guess. So I've put some work on her, and the only issue I've had out of it so far is this right here. Knock on wood, but the bank angle sensor is the only problem I've had out of this thing so far. It went out on me, so I replaced it. And since then, it's been good as gold. So hopefully that's the only problem I do have for right now. What else? I think there was one other little small issue I had, but it wasn't nothing that stopped me from riding, other than the solenoids or do-jigger thing, as you want to call them right there. My speaker stopped working again, so I took it off, put light bar on. I'm trying to think. I don't think I really had another problem out of that. I think this bearing over here is about to go out. It's starting to kind of go out because I got a little bit of, it's not much. When you jack it up, there's just a little bit of play in it. So next weekend I plan on fixing that box, changing the oil, changing the diff fluids, and then I gotta replace the back brakes on it because the back brakes are catching. Front brakes are still good. Back brakes need some work. I serviced my winch yesterday, so it works flawlessly now. That's about all I got left to do that. When my new headlights come in, I'm gonna do a video on those. I got those headlights and then 2 other sets for 2 420s to do. So I'll have 3 4-wheelers in here to do headlights on, and y'all just keep up with that video. Boondocks, as long as this CV virus, this sickness doesn't stop the Boondocks, we will be there all weekend. So I will have some videos on that coming out, and then we're talking about going to Wiley Hammock down in Tifton, Georgia at the end of April for a day on a Saturday. I think it's like the weekend of the 24th is when we're talking about going down there. So if y'all are going to Boondocks, or anybody that watches this video that's going to Boondocks, comment and let me know what you'll be on. And if y'all see us out there, if they have it, then for sure hit us up when we ride. We can all get together and ride. I'll have a pretty big group of people out there riding, so if y'all wanna link up and ride, just let me know, and we can all get together and have a good old time. I think that's pretty well updated. I got my shop put together pretty much. I mean, y'all seen how this place looked before. Got a shop couch with some shop chips, some shop chairs, shop table. shop 4-wheeler, because that's all it's gonna be for a while anyway. It's coming together. It's taking time, but I'm kind of getting it closer and closer to how I want it. Gotta finish setting up the porch out there, and then that'll be done. And just getting the tools I need to actually start working on that myself instead of taking it to somebody. So we'll see how this all pans out, but hopefully I have to have this thing settled and ready for Boondocks next weekend. I mean, it can go as is now, but you know, I'd like to do a couple of maintenance things on it, and it's getting close to do the oil change, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. That way it's done before Boondocks, and I ain't gotta worry about it. And I can go ahead and reset the trip or the meter and all that, and not have to fool with it. So we'll leave that here. Hopefully next weekend I can do a video on headlights if they come in. I hope. I've already been waiting. This Tuesday will be 2 weeks, so yeah, I've been waiting since I've ordered them. But I understand it. It's not a big deal to me. I know he's got a lot of folks he's got to work with, so I can wait as long as they get here before Boondocks. I'm satisfied. So, all right, y'all. I'm gonna cut this here. Finally, y'all comment below, subscribe. You know, keep up. I got TikTok, same thing as YouTube, Honda Bros. Go follow it and keep up with the little small in between things that I do, and the small rides that I go on that aren't really worthy of recording. I do a lot of night riding and stuff like that more than anything, but you can't record night riding. So, but y'all go follow TikTok, Instagram. I've got a Honda Bros Instagram. I hadn't really uploaded anything to it yet, but I also only have 3 followers. So y'all go follow Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to YouTube, and like the video and comment, and let me know what y'all think, and give me some ideas on the 300 of color schemes or different things that I can do to the motor, or you know, just shocks, suspension, stretches, anything that pertains to a 300. Y'all link it, you know, send me pictures, links, blow it up. I mean, give me any kind of idea you can in the world. I believe it's a 95, yeah, 1995. So, you know, just give me all your ideas, shoot me all your colors, you know, stretches, lifts, motor work. Send it my way, and send your buddies to keep up with the build, and this build and this build. We've got so many builds going on right now, it's not even funny. So, you know, y'all subscribe, keep up, follow Honda Bros on TikTok and Instagram to keep up with even, you know, more up-to-date stuff other than just YouTube, because a lot of times I kind of get carried away doing other things and can't keep up here, being that this is just a hobby and not a job. So I don't pertain to this as much as other things, but I want to pursue with this and, you know, keep y'all updated. So subscribe, like, comment, follow other social media. Appreciate it, y'all.